All right, the Houston Texans have the NFL exactly where they want them. We're going to talk about it. All right, so here's the thing. I think this will actually play into this video pretty well. We haven't hidden from all of you guys that we are Lions fans, but we love teams that the national media ignores. So we started covering the Texans almost a year ago because we thought to ourselves, like, this is a team that has some talent up and coming. Nobody else was thinking it at the time. But that absolutely proved to be true. It's been a really fun year covering the Texans. And the schedule release just happened. And what better way to prove our non-biasedness and give you legit Texans coverage than simply by going through the schedule and talking about wins and losses and things like that. In order to do that, I also like to bring up last year's schedule as well. But let's kind of get into the schedule. Let's talk about some of the things that are going to be happening with the Houston Texans. I always enjoy doing some of this stuff. I really do. And they did something similar on SB Nation and all that kind of stuff. I just wanted to get in on the action. So let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule. I've blown it up. It's Houston Texans on their actual website. All right, and we're going to talk about it. And here's the beautiful thing about the schedule. It's not that hard. Like, don't get me wrong. You play the North, which isn't easy, but you get it at the right time, and I'll explain that in a minute. You play the NFC North as your cross division cross conference opponents. So you're going to be playing the Vikings, the Bears, and the Lions, and the Packers. But the two teams that might be able to give you a run for your money later in the season, you get early in the season. So let's start with division rival, the Indianapolis Colts. Last year in Week 17, you went into Indy and you got a victory. And I'm going to say you're going to get a victory here again. If you see me looking down, I'm just making tally marks on your record. All right, you're going to go in there. You're going to get another victory because you're ready. And Richardson, for all intents and purposes, is making like his third start. So you're just ahead of it. You are getting the benefit of the schedule in the next 2 weeks in a very similar way. Richardson's making his second or third start, basically, maybe fourth. All right. And the Chicago Bears will be having Caleb Williams under center as a rookie in his second start. I do think that offense can get scary down the line, unfortunately for a Lions fan, but not in week 2. You're going to take care of the Bears as they come in on the road at night. They're going down to C.J. Stroud, and Stroud says, "Not so fast, my young friend, Caleb Williams. I'm still the best young quarterback in this league." All right, against the Minnesota Vikings, that's a victory, whether it's McCarthy, whether it's Darnold, who even knows who's going to be starting that game. All right, and you're a team that, yes, you are now the team that has too much experience. You are the team that has too many good players. You will beat the Vikings. Danielle Hunter will be like, "Oh, you didn't want to sign me? You wanted to go get a rookie? Well, let me show you something." All right, Dallas Turner, I am better than you, and he is going to go in there and wreak havoc against his old team. Now you got the Glitter Kitties, the Jacksonville Jaguars in week 4. It's home. You had this weird thing where you had some weird home losses last year, but against teams that are pretty good to okay, you win home games. So you are 4-0 to start the season. Not sure if you know that. That's a big deal. Then you got the Stephon Diggs revenge game in week 5 against the Bills. We all know the Bills are in a rebuild. They still have Josh Allen. But here's the beautiful thing. You have a great quarterback. Colin Cowherd once was talking about, you know how good a team's going to be based on their quarterback. Josh Allen's good. So is C.J. Stroud. C.J. Stroud has more weapons, including a former Buffalo Bill. 5-0 for the Texans. It is a hot start, and that's why you see this title, that you're going to take advantage of the NFL. The NFL schedule makers gave you something great. They gave you gifts at the beginning, and then it gets harder at the end so you can get battle tested. There's no way you lose to the Patriots in week 6. All right? Maybe Drake May's starting. Maybe it's Brissett, whoever the heck else they have over there. I don't know. But the New England Patriots are not a good football team. You will beat them in week 6. Then you get your first loss in week 7. You go to Lambeau Field against the Green Bay Packers. It's still in October, so it's not going to be super cold, but it's just flat out hard to get a victory against the Green Bay Packers. It is. It's just hard. Week 8, you're back home against the Colts. I'm counting that as another victory. All right. You can get the Colts twice this year. Some good home cooking is exactly what you need. And then you have the New York Jets. You got smoked by the Jets. There's no Stroud. This year, there's Stroud. I don't care if they have Aaron Rodgers. I kind of care if they have Aaron Rodgers. If he's healthy, it might be a problem. It's a Thursday night game coming off a division rival. All right, that's a loss. I'm sorry. You're now 7-2. We're sitting at 7-2. That's a really good position to be in. Week 10, you have the Detroit Lions. I would give you this victory because it's home, but the fact that it is a primetime game, the Detroit Lions were like 6-1 or 7-0 in primetime games last year. They were ridiculous, so this is your third loss. And it's just because they're a team that's in the same rebuild you are. They're just a year ahead. It's not because I'm a fan of the Lions. All right? It's not. It's not. I might have counted this as a loss when I was doing the Lions schedule, actually. All right, then you go to play Dallas. As always, you want to prove that you're the best team in Texas. You are. You are the best team. You will beat the Cowboys. You will beat the Cowboys in Week 11 on primetime. You just came off another primetime game. So you learn, and you get to go against the Cowboys, smoke them. Titans, thank you so much in Week 12. Had a tough 3 or 4 game stretch there. It's time for a little relief. Nothing better than a little Titans and a little Jacksonville Jaguars cooking to get a couple wins in a row. You're sitting at 10-3 heading into the latest bye week known to mankind. All right, and then coming out of that bye week, you have an entire extra week to prepare for the speed show that is the Miami Dolphins at home. That's a victory. All right, now we're sitting at 11-3. 11-3. And you head in to Kansas City to go up against the defending champs, all right, at a just weird, inopportune time. Like it's 1 o'clock start. Like 1 o'clock start against the Chiefs. Seems like everything's loaded there, but that's a loss. I'm sorry. You're sitting there at 11-4, playing the Ravens. You could call it a revenge game. You can call it whatever you want. I think it's one of those games where you get humbled and realize, like, all right, maybe we have just a little bit extra to go as you're looking toward the playoffs and you're confident. You're 11-5. You got the Titans, and you have to make the decision. Do we sit our starters or do we play them? If you play them, you go 12-5. If you sit them, you may still go 12-5. So when I go through your schedule, I very easily see a 12-5 team. Here's the thing that's beautiful about this schedule. Those losses seem a lot closer than those wins. So anytime you go through a schedule, sometimes it's like, oh, those are tough wins, but I think it's a win. Oh, those are tough losses, but I think it's a loss. You have many more losses where it's like, it's a toss-up. I don't know who to pick. The Ravens, I don't know who to pick. The Jets, I don't know who to pick. The Lions, I don't know who to pick. Right? Like where even the Packers, I don't know who to pick. Whereas your wins, the Bears, the Vikings, the Patriots, like at least one of the Colts games, the Titans twice, those are like, no, you should win those games. It's 12-5. I think you have a better shot to go 13-4 than you do to go 10-7 or 11-6. It's a good schedule. It's a good schedule. For a team that made the playoffs, it's not that hard. That's the beauty of it. So, all right. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.